here in a very sunny Frankfurt, and today is a very special day because I'm finally taking a flight that I've been wanting to take for a long time. I'm going to be flying Lufthansa First Class from Frankfurt to Buenos Aires. It's one of their longest flights in first class.
But first, let me give you a little bit of context as to how I ended up being able to take such an amazing flight. I had been looking at flights for a couple of years prior to this to see if there was any chance that I could possibly take a flight on a Boeing 747, particularly in the upper deck. I came across this flight from London to Buenos Aires, connecting in Frankfurt, flying on the 747 for £2,000 return in business class, which would allow me to fly in the upper deck there and back.
Although it was an incredible deal, I had to think about it. It was going to be a lot of money to pay in one go. I had never booked business class full fare before, but eventually the av geek within me took over. So that was it. I booked it and I was going to go business class all the way to Buenos Aires and back again. But a few months before the flight, Lufthansa offered me to upgrade the outbound leg, so Frankfurt to Buenos Aires, to first class for £1,000.
Now, I had seen online how Lufthansa First Class is supposed to be one of the best first class experiences you can have in the world. My expectation had been set pretty high from videos and reviews I had seen online of Lufthansa First Class. Everyone always has an amazing experience drinking ludicrously expensive champagne and eating amazing food. In this video, I'll take you through my experience and what it was like to fly first class for the first time, but also how Lufthansa, I believe, fell short of my expectations at several points throughout, from the ground experience to the service on board and more. Let me know in the comments below if you think I'm being a little bit too harsh, or if I was just unlucky in experiencing these shortcomings.
With that said, let's get on with the show and pick up where we left off in Frankfurt.
So I arrived into Frankfurt connecting from London on a short haul flight. If your connecting first class flight is departing pretty much straight away, you do get taken straight to your aircraft in a private Porsche. However, this was not the case for me here, and to make matters worse, I had a 45-minute queue to deal with thanks to Brexit.
Now, I should point out that you don't have to queue up for immigration and come out of the terminal. You can just go to connecting flights, and actually if your next flight is in first class, you can use the first class lounge that is located within the terminal. That is the easiest thing to do. However, I wanted to experience the first class terminal that Lufthansa offer. This is a separate building that is only about 5 minutes walk away, but it does mean that you have to come out of the terminal. That means queuing up at immigration. I only had about 3.5 hours to play with, so that took a considerable amount of time. So you come out of the main terminal, you walk over, it's about 5 minutes walk to the first class terminal. By the time I got there, I had about just over 2 hours left to enjoy this amazing experience that Lufthansa have to offer for first class passengers. I'm outside the first class terminal, and this is supposed to be one of the best airport lounges in the world. I don't have a lot of time. I've got about 2 hours to experience this amazing lounge, so I'm going to get on with it and I'll see you in there.
If you're approaching the first class terminal from the downstairs level, you take a lift up to the main floor, and then you will be greeted by a receptionist who will take you through your own private security. The lounge itself is nothing special to look at, but it is nice and quiet. You do feel like you're in a private space, and although there was a few people there, it did feel quiet, despite a few kids shouting in the background. There's a la carte dining, there's a buffet, and of course we've got the incredible bar, which I understand has over 100 different types of whiskey, of which I tried none. I was more excited about some expensive champagne. I really wanted something that I just wasn't going to be able to buy at home. Albert here offered me a lovely glass of Laurent Perrier to start with, and he did recommend the EPC, but I definitely wanted to try this one first, and it was really nice. Shortly after, they brought me some ducks, the famous first class Lufthansa ducks, which I was very much looking forward to, and it was amazing to see them in the flesh. I then went with Albert's recommendation, the other champagne that had on offer, the EPC. And while they were both really nice champagnes, I was a little bit disappointed that they were only probably about 40 or 50 pound a bottle, these ones. Not being a champagne expert, the price is all I've got to go by. And I honestly thought you would get something a little bit more premium, but I thought maybe on the flight, that's when they're going to bring out the real good stuff.
At this point, I wanted to take a shower, so I headed over to the shower area and I waited there. There was a concierge desk, but there was no concierge. There was no one there. I then looked around a little bit after waiting and I found the lady that was cleaning the showers, and the lady told me that there was none available. I have to come back a little bit later. So I went back to the bar and I just had a couple of more glasses of champagne while I waited for a shower to be ready. Now bear in mind, I only had 2 hours to enjoy this lounge, so I wanted to have a few drinks, a sit down meal and have a shower as well. That's quite a lot to fit in that 2 hour time frame, but it can be done. It just needs to be really well organized, which you would expect a first class terminal to be. You would expect the staff to ask you when you come in, oh, would you like to have a shower? What do you want to do with your time here? But there was none of that. It just wasn't very well organized. It felt very clunky, especially for a first class experience. I've been to priority pass lounges where it's been better organized in terms of being able to go for a shower and not have to look in the shower rooms and find the cleaning lady and be told to come back later. It just felt very, very clunky.
So after another glass of slightly inexpensive but lovely champagne, I did find the shower room that was free, and to be honest, it was really, really nice. I think this was my first time ever having a shower at an airport, so that was already a novelty, but I've had a couple more since at different lounges and this was a really good shower room. So we got there in the end and I did feel really nicely refreshed and ready for my flight. After that, I headed over to the a la carte restaurant for something to eat, where they had a French brasserie theme. The restaurant area really was quite nice. You did feel like you were in a little restaurant rather than in a lounge. At this point, after showering and having a few drinks, I only had about 40 minutes left. So I did ask the waiter if I had enough time to do the full a la carte menu.
Half an hour enough time for a la carte?
10 minutes. 12, yeah. 40 minutes.
I'll be quick.
The waiter said I only needed 12 minutes to do the a la carte dining, which seemed awfully optimistic. So I decided to just go for a main, and hopefully that would be enough time, and then just had some champagne while I waited for them to take my order. Unfortunately, this took a lot longer than it should have done, and we wasted a lot of time.
Albert, no one's taken my order yet. I don't know, like, I've only got till 9 o'clock, so I don't want to...
Oh, okay, yes, what can I order?
It's just the entrecote.
Alright,
that's
perfect.
that's all I want.
Have a starter?
No, I don't think I've got time, to be honest.
Okay,
I'll just enjoy that.
Okay,
yeah.
of course, sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've got to point out as well that the restaurant was not busy at this point. There was only about 3 other people dining and there was 2 of them serving.
Would you like some more champagne, sir?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
I thought you already ordered.
Oh, yeah, no. I've sat here for a good 10 minutes. I have to place my order. And fair enough, I don't want a starter, but look, over there, there's all these lovely breads, right? What does it hurt for them to be like, would you like some bread and butter, sir? And the champagne being £50 a bottle, paying all this money for a £50 a bottle of champagne, it's not really worth it. Like, I'd rather just be in the business class lounge, you know what I mean? Save myself 1,000 quid at the very least. So it's now 19 minutes until they said they would come and get me at 9 o'clock. My food's not here yet. I've only just placed my order really because I had to chase them for it. And we've only got, what, probably 18 minutes now until they technically come and get me for boarding. And the bloke asked me if I want a starter. Well, no, I haven't got time for it.
Shortly after that, my steak came out and it was honestly very, very tasty. It was soft as anything and it was just really, really nice. So I can't fault the food at all. I had a lovely glass of 10-year-old Bordeaux to go with it. The steak I ordered was an entrecote, which is basically a ribeye, and I must say they did a very good job cooking it. It was crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, and the taste was just incredible.
Okay, they have a really good chef. What's this?
For the steaks.
Oh yeah? Sprinkle it, yeah? Alright, thank you.
Albert bringing over the salt was much appreciated, but again, another job that should have been done by the people running the restaurant. It did make me wonder, who are they employing to run this a la carte restaurant? Are they really junior people that are just making mistakes? What is going on?
It's now 2 minutes to 9, so they said they would come and get me at 9 o'clock. So let's see what happens now. Is the flight delayed and they haven't let me know about it, or are they just going to come and get me at 9 o'clock? It would be nice to spend maximum amount of time in this amazing lounge and just be taken there when we need to go there rather than like way before.
You done, sir?
Yes, this one, yeah.
Eating the fries?
No, do you know what? I'm going to eat on the plane, so I need to pace myself.
Before you leave, you have to try our creme brulee.
Yeah? You reckon I have time?
9 is your boarding.
They said they'd come and get me at 9 o'clock, but I think the flight's a little bit delayed.
Should we try?
So the flight's 21:40, but on flight rate it says 21:57.
Right, we can do that.
Yeah, you can do it.
All right.
You can just tell them to wait.
Yes.
400 people, just tell them to wait.
For creme brulee.
Yeah.
The plane will be ready.
Yeah.
So if you're ready.
It's ready now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You better tell Albert to cancel the creme brulee then.
Oh, you ordered something?
Oh, I said I don't know if we've got enough time, but he said let's try it, so he's gone to order
Okay.
it. But
Well, the car is downstairs.
the car's ready. Let's go. Yeah. I'll eat on the plane, so it's all good.
I'm gonna-
How long have I got? The late? Because I don't want to go to the plane and then have to wait ages. So is it possible to just go there, like be the last person on?
Let me call downstairs, okay? Because the cars are already there's
Cool.
4 passengers, but I'll go.
Because like on flight radio, it was saying it was a bit delayed earlier, but so I just want to check that I'm not
No,
gonna.
it's
It's all on
everything
time, is it?
according to schedule.
Cool. All
Let
right.
me call.
Let me know. Yeah. Thank you.
They pick you up.
There's no creme brulee.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're gonna pick you up right now?
Oh, she thinks so. I said, can you make sure I'm the last one? She's gone to check. So
Let me check the kitchen. I tell them.
yeah, kill the creme brulee.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
So this interaction here was pretty much the crux of the problem in the first class terminal. Everything is disjointed. None of the staff are talking to each other to make sure that the passenger has the best possible experience. The waiters are just bringing out food even though the passenger might not have enough time before his flight, and then the concierge is coming over to get the passenger and bring them on the plane when there's an order from the kitchen about to come out for them. It's not a relaxing experience. A relaxing experience would be them telling you what's happening and everything being in control, but it kind of felt like everything was out of control and that suddenly you were going to be late, that you've got this creme brulee that you're going to have to finish and scoff down before you head off on the plane. Well, that should have been arranged before. If there wasn't enough time, they shouldn't have been bringing it out, and everything should have been kind of arranged behind the scenes so that the passenger has a seamless transition. That just didn't happen at any point really throughout my lounge experience here. And shortly after this, the creme brulee actually came out, and I didn't know how much time I was going to have to eat it.
So, good luck.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if I have enough time to eat it, but thank you so much.
I can wait a little bit.
Thank you. Let's try this creme brulee then. Let's give credit to the chef. If it's good, it's good. I think my dad would like that. That is really good, but I don't know what a good creme brulee should be like. But that tastes pretty good to me. It's like really crispy on the outside, and then you've just got this creamy stuff on the bottom.
So after scoffing down the outstanding creme brulee, it was sadly time to leave the first class terminal. The transport to the aircraft wasn't a Porsche, but instead a minibus. I think the Porsche vehicles are only used when it's a single passenger heading to that flight. Even so, it was great fun to be driven straight to the aircraft. I was so excited. After years of dreaming about this moment and months of planning, we turned the corner and all of a sudden there she was, the 10-year-old 747-8, my home for the next 14 hours. This was every bit as epic as I thought it would be, especially after a few champagnes. Approaching the 747 from ground level was just absolutely surreal. Upon arriving, our party of first class passengers were escorted up the steps onto the jetty, and then we walked down to board the aircraft at doors 1 left. The cabin crew did come to the first cabin with us, but there was no real proper introduction to the seat. It all felt a bit hectic, to be honest. Seat 1A was nice and easy to find all the way to the very front of the aircraft. I was greeted by a Lufthansa rose, slippers and of course an amenity kit. Pretty soon after that I had my champagne welcome drink. As I sat there trying to absorb this surreal experience, the cabin crew came over and handed me the Wi-Fi code.
Wi-Fi code for you.
Thank you.
I hope everything works.
Thank you so much. The Wi-Fi did not work and the passengers were not made aware of this at any point prior to getting on the flight, and again goes with the theme of poor communication between the Lufthansa teams. At this point, one of the flight crew came over to greet us, and although he was a bit wooden, I did appreciate the effort.
Very good evening, hello.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Okay, my
Thanks for coming
name's...
down.
Okay, so in the very front here. Even in front of the cockpit.
I'll let you know what's coming.
Yeah, so just tell us about the weather.
Yeah.
So then you
Great.
know everything. Okay,
you so
so
much.
your favorite seat here?
First time, so I'll let you know at the end.
Okay,
I'll see, I'll see if I prefer this or at the back.
Yeah, it's a pretty favorite seat here in the very front side.
Shortly after that, we pushed back and we were taxiing. We were on our way to the runway. The view from seat 1A is quite extraordinary. You're actually in front of the nose gear, and I'm going to leave the whole takeoff sequence here just to show you what this looks like. You see the nose landing gear lighting up the runway and then slowly fade away into the darkness. After takeoff, there was a moment of calm where I was really just taking it all in. Being at the very front of the aircraft was a little bit surreal. The champagne on offer on board the aircraft was a 2008 Alantino. It's not exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting something around the £200 a bottle mark. This was about £80 a bottle mark at best. I've since learnt that it's basically a lottery whether they load the super premium champagnes on board or not. So good luck if you're hoping to get that from a Lufthansa First Class flight. The crew did serve this little amuse-bouche. Unfortunately, the fork placement is touching the seat, which gave me the ick, and I'm pretty sure it's not the way it's supposed to be done. Now we're going to go through the mini ticket that you get in Lufthansa First Class. This is the male version. I didn't open it till I got home, so you're seeing it on my desk here. The first thing you get when you open it is a wooden shoehorn. The next thing you're going to see here is a set of 3 things packaged together. The first of which is a set of headphone covers. I'll go through why you need that in a moment. You're also going to get an eye mask, and it's a nice eye mask. It's just got the Lufthansa logo. A pair of socks as well. And then you're going to get a set of creams, one of which is a body lotion. The other is kind of like a face moisturizer. Next you'll get a brush, a hairbrush. I think I would have preferred a comb, so it's a little bit random, but anyway. Next is a toothbrush kit, which includes a toothbrush, toothpaste and flossing kit. You've then got a peppermint tablet to freshen your breath, and a fairly nice little case with some earplugs. This is the female version, which I did also manage to get. It's a nice bag. It's got a nice leathery strap to it. Everything you see inside is exactly the same as what you'll see in the male version. So it's all the same apart from you don't get a shoehorn. The next clip you're going to see is as the crew were carrying out the main meal service approximately 1 hour after takeoff. Now on British Airways, the service in first class is fully customizable to your schedule. You can eat whatever you want, whenever you want. That seems to not be the case in Lufthansa, and something I've not seen anyone mention before. You'll see my confusion here as the crew simply started to set the table without asking me when I wanted to eat. When I questioned it, the crew did not make it clear that, as the Lufthansa website says, the main meal service is scheduled, and then the second meal service is where you're supposed to have flexibility as a first class passenger around when it is served. At the time it felt like the crew were trying to bully me into eating right now rather than giving me the flexibility that I was supposed to get as a first class passenger, something that does sometimes happen when the crew are lazy and break protocol. Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for the chocolate. They're from Belgium.
Oh yeah, good.
Very good chocolate. Yeah. Have you decided about your main course?
I think so. Is it dine on demand or is it dine now?
Yes.
Because I haven't been asked when I want to eat.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So whenever you are ready, you can eat, but
yeah,
you might as well eat now because we are coming with caviar. Next course will be caviar. Then there will be...
So caviar is only now?
Caviar will be now.
Only now?
No, you can have it later. Then we keep you.
Yeah, I'd like to. It's a long flight. I want to kind of enjoy it. And
yes.
To be honest, I'm just fine with champagne for now. Yeah, and
so,
then because normally they ask like when do you want to eat and stuff.
Okay.
You want to eat later? Shall I put
yeah,
it
I'm not sure if is it dine on demand or.
Depends on you. Depends on you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
So
just it's a long flight. I'll keep it till a bit later on if that's
right.
okay. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. We keep everything for you.
Thank you. So then, while everyone had their dinner, I enjoyed another glass of champagne and tried to work this seat, which at first I was confused, and then it became apparent that it just wasn't working. It wasn't fully reclining. It kept kind of getting stuck and coming back to the same position. Looking back, I should have brought it up straight away with the crew, but I kind of persevered and just kind of got it into a position where it was okay. Now, remember I said about the headphone covers? The headphones on Lufthansa Business and First Class don't come in a sealed pack. They are just stored in this little cubby hole that is filthy with crumbs and all sorts of other stuff. I much prefer other airlines where the headphones are just sealed and have been clearly cleaned. The bathroom for first class passengers is at the rear of the cabin by doors 1 left, and it's a nice enough bathroom. It's fairly spacious and it does have a window which I've never seen before in person. The bathroom was nicely stocked with amenities, all of which you could just grab and take with you. There was even a Evian face mist spray, so that was really nice. I took one of those with me as well as a couple of other bits. And then I got changed into my Lufthansa First Class pyjamas before heading back into the cabin. I wanted to have a little look around, so I went into the business class cabin that is between doors 1 and doors 2. And as you get to doors 2, you will see the stairs that go up to the upper cabin of the 747. More on that on my return flight. And something that you don't often see in the modern aircraft, the purser does actually have a physical desk as well. Back at my seat, I asked for the dinner service and they started with this course of caviar. This was my first time ever trying caviar, and it's a funny one. I seem to remember really enjoying it. However, looking back at this footage, maybe I wasn't so sure after all. The next course that was served was a salad, and at this point I did have to ask the cabin crew for some assistance.
Do you know how to get this seat more upright? I'm not sure if I'm being stupid.
Is it doing anything at all?
No.
Okay.
It seems to move everything else, but not...
Would you like to have the backrest?
Yeah, the back more upright.
Okay.
But I can't really...
The cabin crew was desperately trying to fix it. She even reset the seat and that didn't do anything. And at this point I told her, don't worry about it, I'll just deal with it.
It's not that bad, don't worry about it.
Ah, but
I'll put a
it's
pillow...
uncomfortable.
No, I'll put a pillow behind me. As long as when I need to go to bed, it goes flat, that's fine.
Yeah,
And I think
that's
it
the
will.
main thing.
Yeah. If you pass me the pillows, I'll just put a pillow behind me. Want to see that?
Smaller or the big ones, no?
Both of them, yeah.
Tell me,
That'll be
would
fine.
you like some bread with your salad?
Yes, please. Yeah, thank you.
As she went to get the bread, I tried the salad and unfortunately it was just completely unedible.
Actually, the salad, it's not that good. I'm not...
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
No, it's alright. The caviar was like 100 times better. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll move on to the next one.
Maybe it is due to the hot weather in Frankfurt.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything got
Now the next course was a trio of starters including roast beef and
thank you.
burrata. And you'll see here as the cabin crew leans over my food,
lovely. Thank
she
you.
touches her nose right
Yeah,
over
thank
my
you.
food. Now let me know in the comments what you think, but I think Lufthansa first class training for the cabin crew will tell them how to stand next to the passenger and to not lean over their food like this. This is not lack of training, this is just cabin crew not taking pride in their work.
It's alright. It's like a cold roast beef with horseradish.
For the main course I had the beef, which I can't really remember too much about other than the sauce was very rich. It was okay for me but nothing outstanding. The wine was served after I had started the meal, which again I think is not great for a first class service, but it was a really nice wine. I had a Bordeaux. After that I went for the chocolates. I didn't want a proper dessert, I was absolutely stuffed, so I just went for the chocolates, which I think is a really nice touch for Lufthansa to offer. I enjoyed the rest of my wine and then went to the bathroom to brush my teeth as the cabin crew made the bed for me. When I came back, the bed was made. It didn't look particularly great, and also she left the tray table out, which was confusing because I didn't have anything out that would have needed the tray table. So I put the tray table away and eventually got into bed, and to be fair, it is a really nice and comfortable bed. It's very wide. I'm quite a big guy, so for me it was quite nice to have a bed that I could fully stretch and be comfortable in. Now sleep was not my priority here. I wanted to be awake and enjoy the flight, but I did manage to get 4.5–5 hours, which is not bad at all considering I really just maximized being awake and enjoying the drinks and the food. The cabin looks really nice at night. You get this fake candlelight with a few snacks laid out. A couple of hours before landing, the lights were turned on for the breakfast service. And breakfast is actually really nice on Lufthansa First Class. They serve it out of a trolley, which is, I guess, a little throwback to how meals were served traditionally in the golden days of aviation. I had a small plate of cheese, ham and salmon to start with. The cabin crew made me a latte, which was nice, but very messy looking. They really should have wiped that cup to make sure it was at least presentable. It did feel like this crew had been doing the job a while and standards were starting to slip. They just don't really care anymore. I then had scrambled eggs with bacon, and honestly it was the best breakfast I have ever eaten on an aeroplane, and a nice way to end the meal service. At 40 minutes to landing, to end things on a high, I had a nice glass of champagne, although it did come in a wine glass because I had run out of flutes. As we come towards the end of this 14.5-hour flight, I'll round up my video by giving my thoughts on this experience. I took this itinerary primarily to experience it upper deck on the 747. When this outbound leg got upgraded to first class, I thought it would be a great opportunity to experience what a lot of people say online is one of the best first class experiences in the world. Okay, this seat is a little dated and I knew that, but the service is supposed to be top notch. Unfortunately, I disagree with many of the positive reviews about Lufthansa First Class. The crew on this flight lacked attention to detail and did not make it feel like a premium experience as such. The cheaper champagne was a huge disappointment, and Lufthansa's inconsistency with having some flights going out with £200 plus a bottle champagnes and others having just £80 a bottle champagnes, I think is appalling. The lounge experience was similar, where there was the potential for it to be amazing, but the staff made the experience clunky and badly organised. I honestly cannot call that first class terminal one of the best lounges in the world with the service and organisation that I saw. The only person who was able to show some great personality and amazing service was Albert here. The flight was amazing, mostly due to the fact that it was in the nose of the 747. For an av geek, that is a bucket list item for sure, and I really did like that aspect of it. But that is about it. I certainly wouldn't spend the money to upgrade again, even if it was only £1,000. One positive note was that after complaining about the Wi-Fi not working, I did manage to get €50 back as compensation, which I thought was pretty generous. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this flight. Was I too harsh? Were my expectations unrealistic? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I'll soon be posting the return flight where I do travel in the upper deck in business class. Stick around to find out if that's also a disappointing experience, or if business class with the lower expectations was easier for Lufthansa to get right.